Hello, hello. This is the Gemini 2018, Gemini December 2018 Gemini Tarot spread. So this is going to be relevant to anyone who has a Gemini Ascendant, Moon, or Sun. And if you want to learn more about this spread and how to read it, then please see my video on my channel on it. Alrighty, cool. So beginning with Gemini, you've got this is your ascendant. This is where Gemini is. So you've got Temperance, a major arcana on your ascendant, and the card at the bottom of the deck, which sort of ties, everything together, 13th card, also a major arcana. So this is the most intense one so far of the three I've done, namely Aries, Taurus, and now you, Gemini. So this is the first one I've gotten. We've gotten a major arcana for the Ascendant and for the 13th card, which are sort of the two most important cards, kind of the beginning and the end of things, so to speak. You've also got a couple other major arcana. Wow, quite a lot, actually, right? We've got Death, we've got the World, we've got the Empress, we've got the Star. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, 6 out of 12. 6 out of 12. That's huge. So that speaks to me as like some major changes and transitions going on this month for you potentially. Okay, some like major things happening that are going to be somewhat beyond your control, right? Or they're going to feel very much beyond your control and that sort of a thing. Wow. So no, this is just really cool. I'm just impressed with it. Kind of just in awe of it at the moment. So Gemini, your ascendant there, Temperance, is aspected by the World, by the Three of Cups, and by the Knight of Pentacles. So quite a lot going on. And actually, these are all really, really, generally speaking, very auspicious cards. Three of Cups is reversed, but, you know, whatever. Sometimes cards are reversed. It's not really that big of a thing. Well, maybe it'll explain it later. But, you know, I think by and large, you're being very well supported this month in whatever your endeavors are, and there's certainly a major attempt to really just get your life in order, emotionally and spiritually. Just really doing what you need to do, you know, for you to be happy and in harmony and healthy and that sort of thing. In the 10th house here of responsibilities and work, you've got, you know, new vistas on the horizon. You're becoming more independent. You're venturing out on your own much more, which is very cool. In your 4th house of home and private life and whatnot, you are going to be feeling a lot more fulfilled, I think, this month in what you're doing. You're going to be feeling a lot more secure and whatnot, just generally speaking. You're going to be emerging from kind of some sort of like major transformation that's going to, well, I say major transformation. I mean, this is a month-long reading, okay, and it's general. But something is, you know, something has ended, and you know, there's something new is being born that's more stable, more auspicious in general, and so on. Really, really quite cool stuff. Mostly really positive cards here, honestly. It's yeah, it's really interesting to see. Um, we'll find the challenges as we root around some more, though. And with the Three of Pentacles, or sorry, Three of Cups, though, it's interesting because that is also aspecting your ascendant there. That I think this is kind of like almost like you're getting away, perhaps, from this. You're getting away from sort of fruitless, kind of party, pleasure-heavy endeavors. You know, this is the 7th house of relationship too. So on the one hand, it could mean you're becoming sort of dissatisfied with your partner. On the other hand, it could mean just because of the sharp contrast, really. I mean, Temperance versus Three of Cups. Temperance is so much more, you know, just balanced. It's more independent as well, and it's kind of like a higher calling in a sense. Whereas the Three of Cups is just like a grand old time, you know, or a high old time, as they might say. I don't know who they is, but I know people say that. So You'll have to forgive me on that front. So yeah, there's like, with regard to like pleasures and things, there's a bit of a lack of fulfillment in them for you this month. There's you can fulfill your desires quite easily, but they're not really deeply fulfilled. And it's interesting that we got two major arcana on either side, which are very woman heavy cards. And traditionally, temperance in the Tarot Marseille, which is a French deck that this deck is heavily based upon, temperance is also a woman. It's an angelic female figure. It's a little more androgynous here, but I think in light of all these very feminine cards, including justice too, another woman, and the world a woman, so lots and lots of women stuff going on here. So especially if you are a woman, Gemini, whoever's watching this, right? This is a powerful period of time for you to get more in touch with who you are and be more independent and be more fulfilled as a woman. And so very powerful opportunities to break away from more, negative, oppressive influences, especially from men and whatnot. Although I don't necessarily see any hugely oppressive male influences here. It's possible the Knight of Pentacles could become one, depending on the circumstances, meaning that, there's like possibly like a pressure to behave a certain way and to achieve certain things. But geez, the world and temperance, they're just so much more powerful than this Knight of Pentacles. So even if that is there in your life this month, it's not going to have too much power, in my opinion. King of Pentacles reversed in your second house of money and finances and family. This definitely speaks to a strong possibility of either a father figure who is, being demanding or trying to get you to do certain things in a traditional sort of quote unquote respectable manner. And your 12th house is the seven of Pentacles, showing that there's a lot of energy being wasted on work that is probably not super fulfilling and arguably not even necessarily super financially viable anyway. It's just a lot of hard work and kind of worry and stuff, and the work never seems to end. So if there's anything that's going to kind of harm the good graces here this month for you, it would be these two cards right off the bat, just being kind of oppressive to Temperance's more lighthearted, free kind of energy. And same with the World. The World is also next to a Pentacles card. So, it's kind of about not letting this good stuff that's happening for you be stifled by financial worry and crap like that. Temperance might also be balancing, or you might also be balancing these two areas of life, like expenses, and you might have some debts or something like that you're dealing with. I don't know, but expenses, and if you do have debts, it's possibly because of a woman or pleasures or things like that. But don't worry about that too much. Anyway, between expenses and hard work, balancing that between, actually like retaining more of the money and actually being more in control of the money. I wonder if right now you're not really, or this month or something, you're just not really that in control of your finances. Like somebody else is in control of them, or you just don't feel like you have a lot of say in what's going on there. Maybe you're living off of like some kind of a trust or stipend or a fund or something like that. So that could be part of it too. But by and large, like the financial stuff here is what could be getting in your way of more like freedom and exploration of life, and more balancing and getting in touch with quote unquote your feminine side, where if you're a woman, that means becoming like more empowered and independent to just be who you are, right? Regardless of all of the stupid pressure that's out there. If you're a man, it's also about that same thing, being who you are, but this time really getting in touch with like your feelings, like your sexuality, your innocence, your hopes and dreams, and like allowing yourself to be vulnerable and things like that. And all the while we have justice, glaringly at the center of this spread, kind of also demanding balance and demanding that things be really truly fair. Justice is a cosmic principle, the law of balance, the law of karma. And so for you, that's a huge influence this month. Like, how can things be truly fair? Not just the way I want them to be, but actually truly fair and real and that kind of a thing, right? Regardless of what anyone else sort of thinks. So let's see what to talk about next. So yeah, your second house, even though it's got this kind of wonky upside down King of Pentacles, there's still a lot of power there, financially speaking. And it's aspected by this very joyous Four of Wands. It's aspected by this very joyous Empress. And it's aspected by the Seven of Pentacles as well. So once again, doing a lot of hard work, perhaps overworking yourself and having more than you can use almost. There's a lot of abundance here. So the question then becomes, if there's a lot of abundance for you, what to do with it? And so something needs to be done with it. Whether it's shared amongst friends and family, or whether, it's done for, I don't know, some sort of greater good or something like that. Not really totally sure yet, but you need to do something to balance the scales, because there's this abundance here perhaps, and it's sort of imbalancing you, perhaps even making you bored and that kind of a thing. Death in the third house. This is actually very auspicious. It means the total conquest and destruction of any and all obstacles in daily life, and so on. It is aspected by the Star, by the Two of Pentacles, and by the Page of Cups. Interesting. So the Two of Pentacles could interfere with that a little bit, because it is so passive and kind of wonky, like oscillating between two extremes and that kind of thing. So there could be some indecisiveness, but I don't think it will really get in the way of such a powerful card. The Star kind of like helps it along in a sense. It means that whatever tough decisions you have to make, they're going to be very well supported by the cosmos, and that you're not going to be destroyed. You're just going to be made naked, purified, and so on. So that's kind of cool. Page of Cups is interesting, aspecting that position. Page of Cups is sort of maybe an uncertainty about how this will affect you emotionally. And what I would say about that is, again, just don't worry about it. Don't be so afraid of that. Just make your path, forge your path, and so on. And if you have to conquer obstacles, just conquer them. Don't worry about how it's going to make you feel so much. It's not really that important, honestly. It's like the way you feel it. If it has to be done, it has to be done. So I encourage you not to resist that, of course. Yeah, so fourth house is the world. Kind of already talked about that. Largely good influences upon it in general. And I would say that it's sort of like a deep sense of contentment for you this month, by and large. And, you may be more alone this month as well, but it's an excellent opportunity to like really find out, who you are and that sort of thing. Oh yeah, death is also gonna show up possibly as a destruction of your habits and belief systems and stuff as well this month. If you're really going to be balanced and you're really going to do things fairly and by the laws of the universe, you may have to throw out a lot of belief systems and stuff like that. So that could be another theme for you. Fifth house of creativity and power and stuff like that. Interesting. Here it is controlled by the Two of Pentacles. It's aspected by the Seven. It's aspected by Death and by the Four here. This is kind of generally speaking to me as being too concerned with how things are going to work out to take any risks. So you have this great opportunity to take risks. You have this great foundation to take risks and whatnot, but you may not feel like you totally have the confidence to take risks, mostly because of financial stuff and indecisiveness and things like that. Again, overworking, too many responsibilities, and so on and so forth. But again, it is surrounded by two very auspicious cards, the World and the Empress. So these are, there's an easy opportunity you have here to like just kind of let go of that unhealthy attitude, whatever it may be, I would say this month. Okay, sixth house is the Empress, aspected by the Page of Cups, who is just really annoying the crap out of me in this spread. It's like the one piece of the spread that's just like doubtful about stuff, like this one little seed of doubt and pessimism and like poor little me kind of thing. So it's just kind of, I just think it's just really annoying in this situation, and I'll get to it more when we get to that house. But yeah, Empress is aspected by the Star, by the King of Pentacles here. So these are very harmonic cards in a way. They're both very like sensual and earthy and that kind of a thing. The star aspecting is generally auspicious, and this page is just whatever. But it's interesting though, because the Empress is in the sixth house, so there's perhaps I don't know. You may feel like women are somehow your enemies this month, or you may feel that way. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But there may be like a sense of this sort of, I don't know, disgust with some aspect of sexuality and whatnot. It's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, generally the Empress does not really mingle too easily with the sixth house, which is, improvement and austerities and things like that. So in a sense, this could be a warning to not indulge too heavily in the pleasures of the world this month, because there may be work that needs to be done. As much as we also want to balance this work and get away from like kind of a guilty mentality about work, the opposite extreme could easily be just plunging into pleasure and partying and escapism. So, be aware of that. We've kind of already talked about the seventh house. Is sort of generally speaking, kind of being unfulfilling in relationships, sort of like moving away from the surface level of relationships and like reassessing via temperance, and like get in touch with yourself via the world and so on. So that's kind of interesting stuff there. And I forgot to mention, I think we have the most pentacle cards here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 pentacle cards. Yeah, so we have the most pentacle cards after major arcana. So again, that's really emphasizing that the work ethic thing, and possibly too much responsibility or too much work, maybe even a certain amount of guilt. But skipping ahead a bit, your emotions are definitely getting lost. Your emotional self and healthiness is getting lost here between these two cards in work, and kind of suffocating yourself and making a victim mentality. So you want to get away from that victim mentality. Okay, stay in this realm, the realm of balance. Don't let your 11th house hopes and dreams get the better of you, because right now it's like a kind of a more pessimistic hopes and dreams. It's not exactly super happy, but it's kind of, it's sort of lamenting in a sense, and it's getting hit by 2 major arcana, and it's getting hit by this as well, the Four of Wands, which is, influencing. These are all influencing your hopes and dreams and your friendships, of course, too. So the page could also be a friend who's kind of down, who's kind of a sort of a pessimistic influence and whatnot. But it's kind of like you have all these nice things contributing to your hopes and dreams, making them very much possibly a reality, but you're just holding back because of a victim mentality. And you have the power to just totally obliterate that, in my opinion, right? So you have the power to just just charge right through that, but you have to do it. You have to take action, because death is in the 3rd house of actions and overcoming obstacles. So it has to come from you. It's not just going to happen. Okay, cycling back a bit to the 8th house, the star. Kind of a strange card to have in the 8th house. Not really totally compatible with it, but not necessarily incompatible. This is a month where you're probably going to be unloading a lot of emotional stuff, where you're going to be dealing with a lot of heavy duty, deep-seated maybe traumas or things like that. But it's going to be more gentle. It's going to come up, and you're probably going to be able to sort of, let it go, as long as you make the effort, so to speak, as long as you cooperate with that death card there, aspecting again from the 3rd house. So this is an auspicious month for you to let go of things that are no longer serving you. The universe is on your side. It is helping you to do this. Even the card behind the star is doing that, and the resulting outcome of that next to the star is this wonderful 4 of Wands, which is basically, in this context, it's abundance, and you'll be able to sort of tap into that abundance easily, right, when you get rid of whatever is not serving you and stuff. And also, this is a card, a very 11th house card, naturally, hopes and dreams and wishes, and really attuning to yourself to the cosmos rather than your own ego. And so maybe you're feeling held back in that direction too this month. This is an unknown place for you. This is what you normally go to in the 11th house, this kind of like victim mentality or whatever. It's what you have been going to. But this is a little unknown, so it's maybe a little scary. You might be a little afraid of it. But all in all, it's very well supported card, very auspicious. It even also has the Empress aspecting it as well. So I think that is generally, empowering in this situation. It's going to, make it just that much more possible to kind of dive into that dimension. The only thing that would be maybe obstructing it would be the 7 of Pentacles there. Again, just too much work and not really dealing with your emotional stuff. Okay, 9th house. This is generally speaking just good fortune, optimism, and spiritual celebration or stuff like that. I think it's just sort of generally auspicious. It's not getting great aspects though, so it might be stifled. These cards aspecting it, not really super supportive. I mean, this card's kind of supportive, but otherwise not super supportive. So, when it comes to your ability to celebrate the divine and God and that sort of thing, make time for it. It's a good month to make time for it, to really set aside time and say, don't be a victim, like I don't have any time, and don't be like, oh, I have to please, I have to make money, and then be wary of like, oh, I just really don't have any time. I gotta worry and think about all this stupid financial stuff that doesn't even really exist. Because remember, this card is upside down, and or reversed, whatever. One of the reversal interpretative tools is that it's just going on in your head. It's not actually transpiring in your life. And I think we're definitely seeing that here. So this is real. This is much more real than this or this, okay? So, do what you need to do to like really commune with nature and to sort of build your hearth fire, like get the fire going that's going to sustain you and give you warmth. Give some time to joy, to family, to leisures, to having fun, to being creative. If you have grandchildren, this is a great time to spend with your grandchildren and stuff. Okay, yeah, Knight of Pentacles in the 10th. We already kind of talked about this. Again, very powerful card for achieving like whatever you want to achieve, but also a card that's going to explore new things. And he's supported by this card behind him. Unfortunately, he's running smack into this stupid Page of Cups, which is very needy, very, very needy. And so, if this is a friend or if this is a group of people or something in your life, I really recommend not wasting your time on them and not wasting your time on sort of frivolous hopes that aren't really realistic or going to serve you in the long run, you know? Because look, the knight is offering this pentacle and this chap is turned away. So your hopes and dreams are the way you're thinking about your future and the way what you're hoping for or whatever. It's not realistic, and it's like a victim mentality. Just get away from it. That card is just driving me nuts in this spread. Like, it's just funny to see like what comes up and stuff, and what drives you nuts and whatnot. So we yeah, we really covered pretty much all the bases. I think, justice is kind of the only card that I'm not like 100% sold on in terms of what it's telling us. But I think in that, if it's tying everything together, it's saying act impartially. Don't be no half measures. Do what's like right and fair for all parties involved, yourself included, right? But treat every situation objectively and equally and fairly, and you'll have like great success, and you'll just forge ahead. So really awesome, and I wish you good luck in the month ahead. Please remember to hit like, subscribe, share this video, check me out on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff, and visit my website for more information on readings and astrology and tarot. Okay, see you guys next time.